just so small.
Where it just jettisoned.
Hey there, this is the Small Stuff Podcast. My name is Kyle Roebuck. This is the intro. Let's start the show. Last to start nodding, last to stop nodding.
I like the vibe.
I was gonna bring it in with everyone.
Me and Obi were killing it with a vibe, and you looked over and you're like, left out.
Yeah. I saw you doing it, but I was like, I should pay attention to this. No, I can do both. Yeah. All right, what were you saying?
Oh, I said I'm glad you muted me this time.
Oh, yeah.
This last time. It's hard to hear, but there's a very faint, in the Nerdcast, I make fun of...
Part one, I think.
Part one. Because if you don't know, the jettison part is Josh, who me and him are always on this together.
He's on the Stan Lee TikTok. That
went big. Yeah,
like
yeah.
The one that it's
the one that's like
the initial
you
shot.
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
And so I make fun of him every time we're on, and normally it's muted.
And I just forgot to do it.
And he forgot to mute it that time, and so you can quietly hear like it just jettisoned as me
Bryton
saying it.
Yeah. Ooh. All right. So, hi everybody. How are you? You doing good? We got Bryton and Obi Smith with us today. If you've listened to any episodes recently, you've probably heard Obi's promo about podcast about that. It's going to be coming out November 5th, which is the anniversary of Small Stuff, by the way. Not a coincidence.
The 1 year anniversary.
Correct. So, Obi, who are you? What do you do?
Oh gosh, who am I? I ask myself that every day when I look in the mirror. Who am I?
What an existential question.
I know,
to be
it's
asked.
really deep. Was not ready for that today, but no, I am. How do I answer that? Who am I? No,
I'm Bria Smith.
yeah, I know. So my name isn't Obi, but that is what I go by. It was a little work nickname. My name is Bria. I reached out to you guys, trying to learn about the podcast, and you thought I was cool enough to give me an opportunity. So, yeah, excited about that.
Yeah, so something that me and Bryton it's been in my head for a while now. And then when I brought Bryton on to handle a good portion of the workload, because I was dying, we started talking seriously about bringing other people on who wanted to start podcasts and producing for them. And Obi is going to be, or OB. We just figured out how to say this right here. There was a whole lecture,
a
whole lecture about it like yesterday, and from me. Yeah, I was like, just say it like AJ. So anyway,
Obi.
Yeah, Obi is the first person to do this. With us. Yeah. We've got a
first official podcaster.
First
right.
official Potter.
Unless you count our thing, which I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of Tales of the Shadows, this Friday. Well,
you got to get the name right first. This is the second day in a row.
Tales from the Shadows.
Tales of the Shadows.
Tales of the Shadows. Yeah, we recorded an episode yesterday, and the entire Kyle had to do the intro because for some reason, I was like, Tales of the Shadows, 5 times in a row.
Yeah.
And Kyle's like, do you just want me to do it? I was like, yeah, I can't.
Yeah. So
I'm not used to being here this early to record things.
Yeah.
I'm normally here at midnight.
Yeah.
Early, it's
for some reason my brain just doesn't function anything earlier than 10 o'clock at night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It is a lot easier for me at night too.
Mm-hmm.
Mornings are rough. I had that one at 9 earlier, and it was good, but David, it was great. It was you. I was just talking I was still kind of. By the end of the conversation, I was ready to go take a nap. I was not functioning on all cylinders for that one. Anyway, great episode, though. You should go listen to it. It sounds bad, but it was a great conversation. Obi, your podcast about that.
About that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. About it? You want
about
to know about it? About it? Yeah,
yeah.
no.
Tell us about that.
Yeah. About that, actually, my podcast. No, I kind of... I think a lot. I have a lot of opinions and thoughts, and my brain kind of categorizes everything. And apparently I found that interesting enough for other people to hear. I'm just kind of unapologetically a fucking mess.
Yeah.
You know, and we keep talking about like the brain train, you know, scatterbrain type of thoughts. And I don't know, I like telling stories. I like, you know, talking about things that I think. So, you know, I thought, why not just put that out there for people, whether they disagree or agree. Just, you know, I thought it would be fun. So, yeah.
Right.
That is what it is about. It is about me and what I think. It doesn't matter if you care or not, but here it is.
It's just you sharing your opinions.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. So we've got episode 1 is already recorded. That's going to come out next week. Right.
Yeah,
That's right.
Next week
week
from now.
Oh, well, yeah.
But when this episode comes out, it'll be coming out this Friday.
Yeah.
Friday. Woo.
Yeah, right. Time.
Trying to, yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm so bad at this.
Yeah, you were even like, yeah, go back and listen to David. I'm like, nope, David's like probably 2 weeks away from this episode coming out.
Oh, yeah. I was just saying it's a good episode.
It's a good look forward to the
forward
episode.
to
It's
it,
going to
yeah.
be a really
It's
good
coming
episode.
soon.
Yeah. So you are, where'd you grow up? How'd you grow up?
So always a difficult question. My dad, growing up, was in the military, so we moved around a lot. North Carolina is the only place that I've lived for more than 2 years of my life, so I guess I would say North Carolina, but it was mostly like my choice to live here. I graduated and I said, let's stay here. Still don't know why I did that, but no, we've moved around my whole life, like probably about 6 or 7 different states in the U.S., and then we also lived in Korea, which was super cool, but that's always a difficult question. People be like, where are you from? And I'm like, wherever you want me to be from, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, no, I grew up with, you know, both my parents. My dad's military, so kind of on a strict schedule usually. But yeah, no, moved around a lot.
So when did you land in North Carolina?
My freshman year of high school, we had just gotten back from Korea, and we were in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and I was there.
Oh, okay.
And I ended up graduating from there, and then moved to like Virginia, and then I ended up being in California for a bit, and then I went back to Virginia, and then I decided to go to college here. Yeah.
Wow. So what caused the move? Because at that point you're graduated and you're gone, right? What caused the move from Virginia to
that whole
what was going
dynamic?
on there?
Yeah, no, I that's where we approached the me getting married topic. Yeah, I whenever I was living, you know, I graduated and I went to Virginia with my parents because where I was living in North Carolina at the time, that kind of fell through. And I was like visiting Greenville at the time, which is close to Jacksonville, North Carolina, which is where I met my now ex-husband. And that happened, and I was kind of bouncing back and forth between Greenville and Virginia, and then eventually we, you know, he had to go to California, and I was visiting a lot. And then, you
another
know,
military?
Yeah,
guy, right? Okay.
military guy. Yeah, no,
I figured with Jacksonville and the moving around.
The whole uniform thing where it's talking about like your dad in uniform and how that affects. Yeah, that's true. But no, yeah, it's so weird to think about too. But it is. It really is. But yeah, no, I ended up, you know, going to California with him, stuff like that. Never really became a solidified move, but that was a, you know, big part where I was living there, going there like every weekend, staying there, which was like very expensive, but you know, that Chick-fil-A money got me there.
I'm gonna say between North Carolina and California, why'd you choose North Carolina? And see now that makes more sense. I was like,
yeah, no, I decided that I wanted to move here. I had a lot of friends here and stuff like that, and once I had finally made the decision to leave him, I was in Virginia for a little bit, and I was like, nah, I don't like it here. Like, it feels weird. So I went back. I went to Greenville. I'd been visiting for like almost 2 years at that point, and I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna live here. And then I just kind of planted my roots, and here I am.
And you're at ECU, right?
I'm actually at Pitt transferring.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
I'm a transfer, so I'm still trying to decide if I want to make that decision. That was the initial plan. I was going to ECU, but I ended up dropping out when I got married.
Oh.
So getting back into that was kind of something I was nervous about, because I was like, what if something like that happens again? Not that I wanted to, or if like I end up moving again.
Yeah.
Let me just stick to Pitt, get that like initial degree, and then move from there. But yeah, that's how that went.
Right. So what I don't know if we probably have talked about it, but I don't know. Did we ever talk about like what made you want to
I'm so sorry.
what makes you want to start actually, you know what? No, I got a better question. What do you want to do Like, do you want to do something like in the area of like podcast? Obviously you want to do the podcast, but is there like something else like that maybe you see yourself pivoting to like down the road, or like, do you have an interest in that sort of entertainment art kind of thing?
I definitely do. I feel like I kind of gave up on it for a while, and it's always kind of been something I was interested in. At first I started out, I think I've mentioned, wanting to do radio. I've always kind of had like I talk a lot, and I kind of like talking, and I like doing that, but I kind of put that in the back burner whenever like life hit me and stuff like that. And I was like wanted to go into like business and marketing and then focus in advertisement and like social media and stuff like that. It felt like a very safe and not necessarily easy, but something that I am good at. Like I like to kind of put effort into the things that I'm good at. But I kind of always had like I want to do a podcast. I'm interested in it. A lot of people, thank you, that I like had started to meet were especially like going to like.
You're gonna have to wait on yours. I just gave everyone bottles of water, but I gave Bryton a bottle of ice.
Refreshing.
Yeah. Sorry, that was the only liquid one in there, and
I win.
Anyway, I'm sorry.
No,
I interrupted.
It's okay. Kyle tried to kill me yesterday with a bottle that had just a thin layer of ice on top, and I didn't know about it until I started drinking it, and then I thought there was something in my water, and I like had almost a panic attack. Just I was like, "What the fuck?" And I looked over, and there's like ice floating in. I was like, "Oh." I was like, "What's wrong?" I was like, "Something went down my throat, and I wasn't comfortable with it."
Yeah.
I mean, hey, I forgot what I was saying.
I don't know. What were you saying?
Honestly, I feel like I was just starting to talk. No,
You're talking about
radio, wanting to go in radio.
Yeah, I started out wanting to go to radio, and then I kind of focused more into marketing and business, and then started moving to advertisement. You know, like I kind of pinball around, but the more I met people who were interested in like were going into like podcasts and like, you know, working with like YouTube and stuff like that, I was like, oh, that's really cool. I find that really interesting, but just never really put like the kind of motivation and effort that I needed to like launch that.
Right.
So even whenever I reached out to like you, it was kind of more just like, I want to know how you did it because I want to do it. It was just kind of a leap of faith, and here we are. But I definitely would like to like, if there is success behind it and I am good at it, I would really want to follow it. Like you got to stick with the shit you're good at. So yeah, no, it's definitely something that I hope I am good at and I can hold on to.
We think you're good at it. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here.
I hope so.
Yeah. Were you like artistic at all? Like as a kid, were you into? Did you draw or anything like that? Or?
I still kind of am very artistic. I'd say I lean more towards that side. Like I do have like a practical side, but I'm very artistic. As in when I was younger, like especially like when I lived in Korea, you kind of have to find a lot of stuff to do, kind of to keep your mind busy. And I'd been interested in art before. And when I lived there, I got into painting like a lot. And I learned how to do like traditional like Korean painting styles. And I just would sit there and like just churn out paintings every single day. And I've always been interested in art in that way. Just, you know, I never really put enough work into it to make it go anywhere, especially because it wasn't as like supported as I like wish it was. But now it's just kind of something I do in my free time. Like I am artistically inclined. I like doing stuff like that. And then I also was a theater kid in high school. Yeah, that was fun. I was more into the directing side of it and like the writing, like, you know, writing like plays. I think I mentioned I do have a play that got published. And
you did. That's right.
And I guess that's more of like in the middle ground of artistic, like kind of like that writing and stuff like that.
I'd call it artistic.
Yeah, and it's definitely was something that I was like really passionate about for a while. But yeah, artistic, 100%.
Bryton was a theater kid.
I was a theater kid.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was not. I was
4
interested.
years.
Kyle in theater. It just doesn't roll off the tongue.
Ben in theater, though.
Ben
in theater, definitely.
in theater, yeah.
Apparently, the corners of my fridge don't get as cold.
I was fine. I was breaking the ice up.
Yeah, I find it. I don't know. It's interesting to see where people land, like people who are artistic as kids and do stuff like that and seem to actually enjoy it. It's always interesting to see where they land and how long you can suppress that shit. Because some people can suppress it for the rest of their lives.
I don't think the world is very forthcoming to it in a lot of ways. Like depending on how you end up and where you like grow up. Like I know growing up in a rural town, it was very much of like the class that I was in and the class before me were very much responsible for basically rebuilding our arts department and getting it to where it is now. And now it's at a really good point, but like there was still no encouragement that, you know, any of us would really go off and do things of grandeur. Like even if we wanted to, I feel like a lot of pressure to go and get a more real, sustainable job.
Yeah.
Like don't go to college for theater, go to college for like biology so you can get a degree or something or whatever. It's feel like the world doesn't always want you to be artistic. It wants you to be more of a cog in a machine than.
Yeah, I mean.
And that's where you get people that suppress it because they grow up and they're like, well, I'm kind of expected to do X, Y, and Z.
Mm-hmm.
It only really feels accepted once you're actually like successful at it. You know, they don't really I feel like most of the time you don't really see people being as like open to it during the process. And even like younger, like how you were saying, your theater program, you guys kind of started off, it was like the same thing. And now they have like a higher budget. Like I remember in my class, we like were pushing for a higher budget because we did like competitions. And like our classes whenever that happened, but the whole time like they didn't even really show us options like to go to any arts college or anything like that. It was like, this is just a phase you'll grow out of. And the people who don't are like eventually, hopefully most of them are successful, and you know they'll be like, oh yeah, I know when they were in high school they were so good in theater, but you don't hear about that unless you kind of take off. And
yeah, that's when like the Chris Evans of the world or the Zendayas or whatever, and they're like, yeah, look at them. They were high school, like they were in theater in high school. They were in choir. They were all these, and they kind of push that once they're these huge celebrities, but that climb up, it's like, nah, like you need to do something different. Like they expect you to be this full-time corporate machine and try to produce all of your creativity on the side. And there's no like middle ground until one of them overcomes the other.
Yeah. I think it's always funny to see like people like Hugh Jackman, or like I'd say Hugh Jackman in like the early 2000s when he was so known for playing Wolverine, you know, and he was like this burly dude, this big burly guy. And then realizing he had an acting career and like acting experience before this.
Like he was in theater, like he did musicals regularly.
Seeing him in like, you know, pink tights and a purple shirt on Broadway is just like, what? Or seeing somebody like Steve Carell in like a old home video stage production thing at school or whatever. This stuff's it's really weird to see people who acted in certain roles until they found their niche. Steve Carell wasn't a very good example of that. I was just saying like Hugh Jackman, Chris Evans, like these guys who are playing these like larger than life characters. I don't know. They've been putting work in, doing other stuff.
I feel like people see those specific guys who are like in that category and be like, oh, they're just like normal guys and they just happen to like get this role and they just happen to fit in it. But like there's a whole process and a journey behind it.
An amazing example, one of my absolute favorite actors that I'm going to forget, Anthony Mackie. Anthony Mackie, he's in his 40s. He's just late 30s, early 40s, I think.
Oh, okay.
Like
I can accept late 30s. I was like 40s.
He's just now getting his full But
Papa Doc.
He's done interviews where he's like, man, I've been grinding. Like it's not like I was just one day picked up and became Falcon.
Yeah.
Like I literally worked my 43. He's 43.
Really? Wow.
I thought he was in his 40s. But anyway.
It really doesn't crack. I'll be damned.
He does not look like he's in his 40s.
No,
he does not.
He doesn't look like he's in his 40s, but regardless of that, he was putting in work to get to where he is today. And it's just crazy.
What's the worst part about working in the restaurant business?
The worst part?
Yeah.
God,
and
that's a long list.
Tell the folks what you do. Like, you consider yourself like you're a server?
Yeah,
like
I'm
in
a
general?
server. Yeah.
Like,
as I made a snarky comment. The thing literally says beer tender. We get clocked in as beer tenders, where it feels like there's one moment where you are a bartender and the other moment where you're a server.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of split down the middle and you're running around like that. We don't have separate jobs for that. But I don't even know where I'd start about the worst part. Like, I mean,
I think
you've worked in
it's
food too, right?
I think it's a duality of customers. I think customers are simultaneously the worst part and the best part of any job.
I mean, they're the reason. Not only like obvious, there are other reasons why they're the best, but they also are the reason we get paid, kind of in a way. Like we need them, but like sometimes we just don't want them. Like I'll sit there and like, anytime someone comes in, I'm like, oh man, I don't want to work today. But it's like, well, I mean, I'm just sitting around. Like, what's gonna happen anyways?
Yeah.
I just know my worst experiences in the food business and my best experiences in the food business have both been brought by customers. Like I can never say, like, I don't think there's anything been worse to how I've had some customers just treat me right out. Where I've had customers just get in my face and curse at me. I've had a customer drop a cigarette on my hand when I tried to serve them one time. It was on accident, but
yeah, still
doesn't matter.
like watch what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah.
Where were you? Were you at? Where were you?
That was back when I worked at a KFC Taco Bell.
Why was there a cigarette?
I was leaning
the
out the
window?
window, handing them food, and they
okay.
reached up with a cigarette in their hand.
I was like, you're not old enough
would
to
you-
have been a server in a non-smoking restaurant. You're younger than I am, and I was 5 when that shit stopped.
But I had some of the best. I used to have this old couple that would come in like every week. They'd order the same thing. They were always the nicest. They'd tip me, even though you don't tip fast food workers.
Oh, really? Wow.
No.
I mean, I knew you didn't tip fast food workers.
Yeah, you were
I
like,
was,
oh, really?
I was like, really?
Oh,
You got
no,
tip?
they tip.
Yeah,
Oh.
that was cool.
I thought you were surprised that
No,
they don't
they're-
get tipped.
I'm just sitting there like, wait, what? I always tip fast food workers. I'm not supposed to do that.
They were
I tip them like 25%.
they were always the nicest to me. They almost treated me like family for the most part.
Yeah, I never worked
Like-
in front of house.
Like sadly enough, I was invited to, when the husband passed away, I was invited to his funeral.
Whoa.
'Cause
Oh,
that's how
wow.
close our relationship had come. So like, I've had that compared to being cursed out by a crackhead.
Was it from heart failure due to the copious amounts of
KFC?
Taco Bell and
KFC
KFC?
Taco
No.
Okay.
Darn.
They got grilled chicken. They were healthy.
Oh.
They went with the healthiest thing you could get on a KFC menu.
Oh, distasteful joke.
I mean,
Love it.
I think, like
distasteful.
the guest.
What?
You said distasteful jokes.
Yeah.
I said distasteful because food. Even worse.
All right. So, guys, thanks for hanging in for 25 minutes. Shortest episode ever.
Cut it now. And we also have to edit out, the dead silence. So it'll be like
Yeah.
15-minute episode. No.
Somehow Bryton was able to ruin this faster than anyone he's ever ruined before.
I thought it was going to be me. You kind of like relieve some of the pressure in a way.
That's what I'm here for.
And be like, I mean, as long as I don't fuck up like Bryton,
Yeah.
I'm good.
Good. Yeah. Yeah. It's hard to get there, though. It takes a lot. Yeah. A couple cans of gasoline, some petroleum. You'll get there. So how long have you been in like the food industry and stuff?
So I got my first like actual official restaurant job when I was 15.
Because you were like independent really early. Mm-hmm. Like
Yeah, I moved out whenever I was 16 years old, and I moved in with my brother. Him and I were kind of had our own little place, and then he ended up getting married, and it was a whole shit show.
and then you got married. And
Well, I moved out and then got married. But no, I've been on my own for a little bit. I've had a lot of jobs, but I started out first ever job officially because I kind of like had worked in some places like not officially before,
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
under the table.
Yeah.
But no, I was working at this like Mediterranean restaurant, like a mom and pop in Fayetteville, and it was like I think it taught me everything I need to know about how not to be treated as an employee. Because since I was young, I wasn't a server necessarily, but I was still expected to serve just with I didn't get any of the tips. We didn't get to keep any of our tips because I wasn't a server. I was a cashier. So I'd bring in their food in the front, call it out, and then I'd go and bring it out to them, take care of them, all that stuff. And they would tip me. I put it in the jar, and then my boss would take that jar and take it into the office.
what a dick.
Yeah. So I learned to make sure I watch where the money goes in restaurants. But yeah, no, I started very young and it taught me a lot of lessons. They were kind of, I think the worst thing sometimes when it comes to working in a lot of different places, or worst or best, you notice different levels of management and how people will treat you, whether it's like corporate or local, or like, you know, they think they can get away with more things when it's local, but when it's corporate, they have a structure, and then, you know, they just have to get more innovative on how to treat you like shit. Yeah. I'm not saying that every place I've worked I have been, but most of the time that's kind of how it is. I'm kind of lucky now to have a job where, like, it feels like, you know, they say, like, oh, yeah, we care about you, and they do. Like, the place I worked at before I'm working now, they kind of had this big, like, whenever, like, what really drew me to them, they'd be like, oh, yeah, we're a family. We're really big about family.
Red flag.
Yeah. Boom. I'm like, oh, but especially at the time, too. You know, I had been, like, I was living here by myself. My family's, like, who knows where. I think at the time that they were moving to Alabama. So I knew I was going to be away from them. I hadn't seen them in a while. I can't really afford to drive up there. And, you know, COVID peaked that time, like, kind of heading towards the end. I was lacking that. So I feel like they kind of played on that a little bit. Like, oh, we want you as an employee. We'll be your family. And I kind of took that really personally. And I was like, oh, people care about me. This is awesome. They don't. They didn't. They did not. They were kind of just assholes a lot, you know. And I realized they were just not the best people to be working under. And they kind of did that similar thing that I noticed whenever I was younger. They move your money around in a very suspicious way. And you're not seeing all, like, the fruits from your labor. So I think that's why I left. I, like, just was, one day I had gotten into it with one of who I guess the other owner of the restaurant, and, you know, she, like, had, like, cursed me out in front of guests, and, like, I was crying. It was just a very inappropriate situation, and I was just like, I don't see why I had to, you know, go that far. I apologize, though I strongly believe I didn't do anything wrong. You know, I was just, mistakes happen, but kind of demeaning me, or not, like, kind of just breaking me down in front of people was kind of crossing a line, but I was willing to forgive it. And she was like, okay, yeah, cool. And they were like, yeah, you have an attitude problem. And I was like, because I don't like being treated like shit? Yeah, no, I'm out. I left. And they had a whole week scheduled, and I was like, I'm gone. I just dipped.
Yeah. You gotta, people who don't understand that you just treat everybody the same, like, with the same amount of respect. Nice.
Just like that. I tried to turn away, but you just heard it. Yeah.
No, like, I mean, there's a saying that, you know, you treat the CEO the same way as you treat the janitor or whatever. And that was one of the things that about customers in restaurants, I never really understood how they can get so angry about something so simple. Well, maybe that's why, because it seems really simple.
It's
but, like, you can't understand.
Associative anger. It's where, like, you take all of your anger for the day and pass it on to someone lower than you. Yeah. So it's like your boss gets yelled at home, goes to work and yells at you. You then go to a restaurant and your server messes something up, so you yell at them, which causes them to go home and yell. It's like this weird. There's like a psychological term for it where people just pass their anger along to the next person instead of just dealing with it themselves.
Yeah, I had one of those we're a family jobs. Pretty sure Bryton did too. Yeah, we're
a family and we're a team are the two that I hear, and I'm like, nope.
You know what? Fuck it. Me and Bryton worked at the same place. And for anyone who also worked there, it'll be obvious. I'm not going to put a name out there, but we worked at the same place, and it was actually, you'd probably figure it out. We probably said it before. Oh, why am I tiptoeing around this bullshit?
Yeah, what are they going to do?
Yeah, it just wasn't great sometimes. Like, it was really toxic at times, and but that's how they hired us. Was we're a family, and I don't know if did I hire you? Was I part of management yet?
No. Okay. I think you were a supervisor when I came on.
I know that
not far off from being a coordinator though.
When I started, like, in the hiring process, we were still, like, saying that stuff. And it wasn't until, like, I left that I was like, whoa, that was bullshit.
It almost feels like you're, like, brainwashed. Like, we are a family. Like,
that's exactly what it is.
And really, it's like a cult of sorts. Yeah.
And I mean, that in a good way, though, it's also what it was. Like, it was really cool. It was a cool job.
It was a cool job.
But it was really toxic sometimes because of the people.
In a lot of ways, like, it was like a family in the way that it was like there the aunts and uncles and parents you don't talk to, which was
Right.
management, because they were assholes all the time. But then your cousins were really cool, which were the other employees that you really loved hanging out with. But other than that, for the most part,
Yeah. There was a. It seemed maybe there's always a disconnect. That's something I've also never really understood. How there seems to always be like a disconnect. Excuse me, between like management and employees.
I want to say it happens when you stop doing what the employees have to do. Because like I hold that management style. If I'm never going to ask you to do something that I won't do with you, or I haven't already done 1,000 times. Like we do deep cleans at Stumpy's, and I'll make people do we have to do some grueling work to get, we have to move mats and stuff. And those things are horse mats. They weigh 40, 50, 60 pounds. And if I'm busy doing something else, I'll ask other people to do it. But it's not like I wasn't the one who fucking ran that kind of shit for the last 2.5 years before then. So I think it's somewhere in that disconnect between you moving up, and then it's that whole idea of power. People feel like once they get power, people either get power and they're like, all right, yeah, or it goes completely to their heads and they go full over.
Yeah. That's one of the issues with that place that I've always said is none of the management came from anywhere else. They all came from They all came from that place, and they all started there very young, like your age, and stayed there, and never left that mindset. Not that there's anything wrong with a young mindset, but you got to change up how you think a little bit when you move into a more mature role like that.
Yeah.
And the problem with that place was a lot of people did not change the way they thought.
And it was very much this is
not to you know what I'm saying.
I know exactly
a lot of my way or the highway type of situations, or
I hate old
what if we did it this way? No, we're going to keep doing it the way that we think it should be done. But there are better ways to do it this way. Because there were tons of people that would be like, hey, they'd be like, we're a team. Give us your suggestions of how we should change things and make things better. And then people give suggestions like, well, we can't do that because of this. And it's like, well, you literally have just said that everything you told us to do and give you suggestions, you've now vetoed all of them to the point where you have fixed nothing and it's still a horrible place.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the disconnect, not just there, but overall, also comes from lack of communication, which was an issue there because, and I'm sure this happens elsewhere, if employees come to you with a solution to something and you haven't given them all, you're like, hey, we need solutions to this problem. We're looking to you guys because you're on the ground doing this. But you don't give them all the information. They can't have all the details because it's only certain people can know this. I can't remember the term for that, but confidential need to know basis is what I was looking for, but confidential works too. Yeah. When they come to you with solutions, you can't really expect them to be right. And you are going to turn down almost all of them because they don't have all of the variables that they need. And I don't know if that happens other places. I just know that I've dealt with that in the past on both sides of it, where I'm like, shit, we didn't explain this very well.
Yeah.
So now we're going to look like assholes. But that's, and I was in that same role. I was still young and had no idea what I was doing. And
a lot of those people just feel like that if you, when I left, because I was offered a better opportunity somewhere else, and there was a position at this place to do basically what Kyle had been doing just before then, was a coordinator position.
I got a promotion. It opened up a position. He wanted it.
There's a coordinator position, and I'd worked there for 2.5 years at this point. I'd been a supervisor for over 1.5 years at that point. So I'd met all of the qualifications, and I had a less stressful course load because I was finishing up, but I was offered to be the manager, the assistant manager at Stumpy's, to eventually be the manager there. And I was like, all right, well, I was already told that this was a for kind of sure thing, and I'd start training for all of that. And then I applied for the coordinator job, and the coordinator job paid more money. So I was like, you know what? I do like here there are some problems, but maybe if I work my way up, can help work through those problems. And so I applied for that job, didn't get it. And I was like, all right, well, I'm going to start working more hours there because of this promotion. I can't keep putting my full, I was working 18, I had 18 credit hours at school, was working at the job that me and Kyle worked at for like 30 to 40 hours a week, and was working this job at night. So I was like, I can't keep doing it. It's not worth it. Mm-hmm. So I cut back, and then quit. And as soon as I quit, I think it was like a month or two later, Kyle told me, went up to me and was like, yeah, they were talking
They were talking shit about him. Like, because they thought he quit because he was being a baby. Because he didn't get that position. And I told them, like, I was like, oh, no. I talked to him about this. He had another job already lined up. It was just, if he got the coordinator position, he would stay. He was already planning on leaving. He got nothing to do with that. You know, I mean, it technically directly did, but it wasn't because you were like hurt by it.
Yeah.
You know?
And like,
that was kind of your last straw at that place anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But that just showed the fact of that they don't particularly care about anybody. They'll just turn on anybody at a moment.
Yeah. I would like to say to anyone who knows what we're talking about, if you are still there, if we ain't talking about you, we ain't talking about you. If we're talking about you, we're talking about you. We're going to let you decide that. And I will say, some do care. Mm-hmm. Some do care.
And you kind of know who they were.
Some are just there for the money. Mm-hmm. And that's, you know, again, if we're talking to you, we're talking to you. If we're not, we're not. That place, I will say, gave me a lot of opportunities that I would not have had otherwise. Mm-hmm. So I'm grateful for that. But it was toxic as fuck. It really was. Very toxic. Like a very toxic family reunion every day. All day. 7 days a week. So what's the most toxic job you've ever had?
It was the Mediterranean place, wasn't it?
No. It's a different place. We talked about it earlier, but they had
more toxic than the Mediterranean place.
More toxic somehow.
You did make it seem like that first job you had was probably a little on the.
It was. I feel like
side.
If you would have asked me like a little while ago, I would have said there. But now with some reflection, I'd say it's this other place. They had I'd mentioned they're the ones who are like, oh yeah, we're a family. Mm-hmm. We're a family, but If that's what their family's like, I don't want to be a part of it because they treat their family like absolute shit. Like even the people like who work there, like some of the people who had worked there were part of the family and they still treated them bad. And you can imagine how they treated people they had no blood relation to. Like they had a I found out about this recently. One of the girls who was younger who still works there now. I don't know if I think she might have left actually, but she was the owner had got a PI out on her, completely just like over, and he had admitted to it, came into her other job and was like questioning her about something that was none of his business, completely personal about her and her relationship. And it had,
whoa.
Yeah. Scary.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm. And she like told me about it and I was like, you need to leave. Like that is, because whenever I was there, I thought I had it bad.
What was the well, no, we don't need to go into many details.
I can't. I don't think that would be. But it's like why would you, it's just I don't know. Like whenever I was there, they were mean to me, a little sexist at times, you know, made fun of me. Like I ended up at a certain bar that I was at, I had ended up getting like roofied one time and I had to go to the hospital and I woke up in the hospital and had missed my shift at the beginning of it. You know, they didn't fire me or anything like that. They were like, yeah, no, just get here. We'll see what we're going to do about it. And then had continued to make jokes about me getting roofied months after. And I was like, okay, well, that sucks. They weren't nice to me. You know, they were mean. They talk shit about me behind my back, as you would. Told you this is some hot deets. Hot deets. But I was like, okay, I feel
bad for us talking about our shitty, like, we're like,
they hurt my feelings.
They were making fun of me, and you're like, yeah. So like, I got roofied, and they just straight made fun of me for it. Like, oh shit!
I was almost raped, guys. Oh no, that's funny.
Oh god,
I'm sorry. I feel like I've changed the climate in the room.
No, you're good. We're
just baffled that like we're like these are and like I guess that is the difference though. This was like a toxic environment for us as just males,
cis white
dudes, like, and you're over here like, no, as a female, like I was totally like I could have had X, Y, and Z happen to me, and they're just straight.
They were just like
tearing
just
into
like,
it,
yeah. But I mean, at first, they felt some type. The thing that of what I remember is they really didn't like. They weren't worried about my well-being.
Mm-hmm.
They were more just pissed that I wasn't at my shift, and I was like, I didn't even know what happened.
I didn't know
or
what
where
planet I was on.
Yeah, I woke up at like 3 p.m. at Bryton. Like I don't know what's going on, and I ended up coming in later on after being
Kudos to you.
roofied
Yeah, no.
to talk to them, and they were still just kind of like meh about it. They
As
were.
soon as I had told them what happened and realized there wasn't a, oh my God, are you okay? Like tone to anything. I'm like, all right, I quit.
Well, that's
Yeah, like
clearly
where,
more
if
concerned
I had
about.
to call and I'm like, hey, so you coming to your, like, I'll normally text and be like, so were you coming to work today or not? And if you were responding with, yeah, some real shit went down, I'd call you and be like, are you okay? Like
Yeah.
that'd be first priority. And if that's not
crazy.
the phone call, then you don't need to work there anymore.
It was a crazy. Like I remember like waking up and I was like, oh no, I don't know what happened. And they were like, well, get here. And I'm like, wait, I'm hospital. Like it was a whole thing.
I can't just leave. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, I guess I could, but
And I didn't want. Also, part of me like didn't want to tell them too much personal stuff about it as well. But like, like whenever I first was talking to like one of the guys,
And
he
I
was
don't
just,
even think
like,
you
pissed.
have to.
Yeah, I didn't have
like
to.
legally they can't ask you about medical
And I didn't
medical
tell
problems.
them-
You could just be like,
Yeah.
I had personal
an
things at the
emergency
hospital.
visit to the doctor.
Mm-hmm. And whenever I initially was telling them that wasn't enough, so then I had to get personal with it, and I felt like I had to. Which now looking back, I didn't have to. I should have just fucking left. But that's just like one thing. I think that's what started my downfall there, and it continued where, like, they would talk shit about me and this other girl there. And I remember this girl, she had made a joke about it was something about weed and like that, and about she kind of misunderstood, and she was kind of like a little bit of a little fibber sometimes too. It happens. Who cares? It wasn't anything like horrible, but
She made a joke like against weed. Or
no,
something?
it was like saying someone was involved with it.
Oh, okay.
Who happened to be not really knowing, but kind of like making like a guess. But it was so clearly a joke. And one of the other girls went to this person and was like, "Oh, so I heard you're the joking."
Are you involved with the weed?
That's literally what it was like. It was the most like insane thing. But this person happened to be related to the owners, and they did not fuck with that, and ended up firing her over it,
Bro,
and saying they were
what?
going to make it legal because she was like slandering him, talking on his name. When it was like, we're fucking around with servers, like.
I mean, you don't have to do any of that. You can just fire somebody because they walked in the door funny in North Carolina. But
But they said either like we're going to go legal or we're going to fire you. Which one you want?
oh, I see. Okay, that's what you meant. I thought you meant like they were going to make it legal
No.
by saying this. I was like, you don't have to do that.
It was one or the other. And she ended up leaving the same day I quit that night because I just got done closing. And I went back there. They were just, oh my God. And
That's
then
crazy.
even afterwards, now they'll come in, like sometimes they will come into my work where I am now, and it's like, everything's fine. Oh my God, so good to see you. And like they'll go to like side hug me, and I'm like, don't touch me. I don't like that. You guys are sketchy. And, but yeah, no, they
Wow.
yeah, that was a lot.
This
but
went.
oh my God, I'm gonna get sued.
No, you're not.
No,
you're not.
you're not. You're all good.
We're not saying any names.
They don't know who I'm talking about.
No, nobody.
I'm
does.
just still baffled,
Well,
like,
they might.
Yeah.
If this is you,
Yeah, if we're talking about you, we're talking about you. If we're not, we're not.
maybe, and if you're upset about it, maybe reassess your actions.
Yeah.
It's,
That's one of the things about like if you're gonna get pissed off about this, then like it's probably on you, man. Like
I wonder if I know who they hired. My dad's a PI.
really.
Yeah. I wonder if my dad would have told me.
That even that, I was like, from what she had been telling me before, and whenever she texted me about that, I was like, get out of there, girl. Like, she's younger than
That's
me.
a lot.
And I'm like, that's so unnecessary. And they really like, they use that we're family to like as an excuse to know your personal shit.
I don't know. Can you legally hire? I mean, I should know this. Can you legally hire a PI just I want you to look at this person?
yes,
Yeah.
Wow.
you can hire PI for anything. If I was like, man, I was trying to think of a good, and I was about to be like,
You gotta
man,
start thinking ahead.
Obi's a cool person, and I'd be like, oh, I wonder what her daily schedule's like. I could call a PI and just have somebody search.
Have you been being tailed this whole time?
I think
Don't
so.
worry, I don't care that much about your
for the
personal
past
life.
week and a half.
Trust me.
I'm be looking over my
Trust me.
shoulder.
This blue Taurus has been behind me for days.
I'm in a work shirt.
Mm-hmm.
This is all I own, being because I'm poor. And like, I'm not, if I was wearing a different kind of nice shirt,
That would be suspicious.
Yeah, if Bryton looked like he had more money, you should be.
yeah.
Yeah, so as
I don't have
soon
money.
as those payments start rolling in, you need to start watching it out. He's going to have a little extra money burning a hole in his pocket. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I said. Like I was like,
am
man, I didn't want to use OB because you're sitting right next to me. But I was like, that's how my brain works. Is my brain just picks the closest thing.
I am uncomfortable with the energy we've created in the studio today.
I'm not. This is fun.
You just follow me, you text me, hey, your taillight's out, by the way. And I'm like, what?
The PI I paid to follow you said that you need to go.
You just mentioned next time, when's the last time you've gotten your car inspected?
You know, there's a light above your tag that you need to replace, right? Yeah.
How did you know?
I saw it when you pulled up. There's no windows in the studio.
It's daylight. My lights aren't on.
Better. Yeah, that was better.
Yeah.
Than
With no
windows.
windows in the studio.
There's a reason she's the talent. I'm not. I'm the organizer.
Am
really
I
good
the
at-
talent?
To be determined.
To be determined. And yeah.
Damn.
What do you want to do? No. Okay. What do you want to do? What do you want to do?
What do I want to do?
Yeah, what do you want to do?
Like in general?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like
with your life, what do you want to do?
see, I feel like that's something I've been trying to figure out for
This camera angle is fucked up. I'm sorry.
I'm like completely
It's so trash.
Every time there's 3 people on the podcast, it's the worst thing to ever exist.
We got to get 2 more cameras in here.
You move like a crazy person whenever we have 3 cameras. Whenever I have to do the 3 split, it's like you're just like, yeah, man. So like I was just it was really cool. So it's
I'm
about
trying
every
to lean into the frame a little more, but I'm in the frame. I'm just way over on the edge.
now I'm gonna be pissed off at myself because I'm gonna have to
Follow yourself around?
Follow myself doing this.
Keyframe yourself around.
Luckily, I didn't move that much.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to get 2 more cameras in here. That would make things a little easier. There's a lot of extra shit we need. Why did I just cut out? I didn't get. Am I talking quiet? I cut out at in we need. It felt like. Anyway, sorry. What do you want to do?
Didn't we kind of cover what you wanted to
I think
at the
we
beginning?
did.
Yeah, we've already been there, man.
Like your life?
Like for my life?
Yeah. What do you want to do?
I mean, like,
Any goals? Any like I would love to be like walking a red carpet one day, or like what do you think?
I feel like one of the things that I really want to do, I guess it's not necessarily career driven, just something I want to do is to travel more outside of the U.S. I got a little taste of it whenever I was like with my dad and we go to a lot of different places. I want to see what's out there a bit more and explore that, and whether that's something that comes with the career that I end up, in, or if it's just something I do personally. It's definitely a goal of mine to be able to do that comfortably as well, not just kind of like
Scraping by.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I've done it that way. It's not as fun. I mean, it's fun, but you feel gross.
That was the first thing that came to mind whenever you said it. I mean, as long as I'm doing something, because like I have an issue with losing interest in things. If I'm really like forcing myself to, if I have to really try to be engaged in it, which like things like this, I don't have to try. Like, but if I really have to try to be engaged in it, I lose interest really fast. It's not like, and it's like hard. It's just I want to be able to do something that I can naturally do and feel comfortable with, and still get enjoyment out of it. Which is why like I'm probably plan on staying where I am, like serving and stuff like that for like a minute. The money's nice, and I enjoy doing it. I said before, it's a practice in public speaking. It's helping me work with different type of people and communicate. I'll probably stick with that for like a while until I finish with my career, and even then afterwards it might be something that I do. But as long as I'm like doing something that I'm good at and it's not a pain in my ass,
Yeah.
I'll be happy.
As far as you haven't traveled anywhere out? Have you traveled anywhere outside of the U.S. as an adult?
No.
Nope.
No,
Oh,
I
have you?
haven't.
Mm-hmm.
Where have you been?
Spain.
Spain.
Mhm.
I ain't never been to Spain. I ain't done that one. We stuck to the English-speaking countries. Yeah,
I'm aware.
yeah,
We were acquaintances at the time
Yeah.
of that.
yeah. We did it. I went with a couple of friends through the UK, but we did it really cheap, like for a month. Like we were gone for a month,
Wow.
and it was probably $2,000 a person, including everything. Like maybe 25, because we were staying at hostels and shit, which is super cheap.
Mm-hmm.
But you're also bunked with a bunch of people that you don't know.
And if you've ever seen the movie,
Oh,
very.
gosh.
Not quite the same. But yeah. We were in the middle of like metropolitan areas for the most part, with the exception of a couple instances. But yeah, I highly suggest it. It's really cool. Do you have a place you want to go?
So I don't even know. Probably to the UK. I want to go there. My mom, for her birthday, wants to go to like England and all that area, and let's go to London. So we're saving up for that. So that'll probably be the first place I go in my adult life. I want to. So I'm gonna.
Scotland's
gonna
nice.
do it.
Scotland's really pretty. London's cool, but it's basically British New York.
British New York.
Yeah,
I love
so
New
it's
York,
expensive.
I almost went.
It's expensive as fuck.
I almost
love
went
New
to Scotland in 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What stopped you? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a legit question for a second. I was like, why didn't you go? Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Whoops. Yeah.
Oopsie doopsies.
Yeah, me and Crystal want to go to the UK or something, but I don't want to do it like that because while I think I could, well, no, I don't want to do it like that again. I don't want to do that either. I could, but I don't want to. I'd rather stay in a hotel or something for a week. But
I do
Have less of a long trip. Like,
getting there was trash. Like,
I bet because y'all went through like a lot of.
we went through a few avenues to get there as cheap as possible.
Mm.
So, like, the three of us, our airline tickets, round trip, were $500 a piece.
Mm.
From, I think our flight technically started in, no. We took a first flight. Like, our first flight was from Raleigh to Atlanta to a connecting flight to Baltimore. Then we took a train from Baltimore the middle of the night. We slept in the Baltimore like public area terminal place. We slept for a couple hours there while we waited for the train.
Mm.
Then we walked out. We caught a bus to where the train was. Sat there again because the train was late for like 2 hours. Got on the train and rode a train from Baltimore to Boston, which was like a 7-8 hour train ride.
Oy.
Got off in Boston.
Would you do like
around
2 days worth of travel just to get out there?
24 hours.
Uh,
This is like 24 hours almost exactly.
Jesus.
There and back.
Ugh, no thanks.
Yeah, and like the two people I went with are tiny. Like they're not very large people at all. I am a very large person, so like they can curl up like cats in train seats and plane seats and shit because they really are small people.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't sleep for I might have napped for 20 minutes here and there,
Mm-hmm.
but melatonin can only do so much. When trying to take down an elephant. So, the way back was worse because I didn't sleep that night. We left at like 3 a.m. Trash. I was so ready to be home. Absolute trash. But it was fun. Good experience. We saw the Giants Causeway.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the legend is it was like a land bridge that Giants made to connect Scotland and Ireland, I think. And it not being there is some significance about Ireland breaking away or Scotland breaking away or something. I don't know. It's just a naturally occurring geological like phenomenon. Like there's these phenomenon, hexagon like columns that come up out of the like right on the shore, and they're just like that. Like, and it's just it looks man made. It's just a bunch of
if you ever
different
get a
height.
chance, you should. If you haven't seen it, look up photos.
It looks
I'll
like
look it up, yeah.
a giant like order of French fries. Like if you look at it from a distance, I'm serious. It's like I'm not making a joke. It's like it's just like sticks like that of rock that are just bunched together. It's weird.
It's something to do with like the pressure, like the pressure that's being put on the rock as it comes out of the earth or something.
And they're all hexagons. They're all like in the shape of a hexagon. It's weird.
That's
Yeah, we didn't get to go
I think
see.
it has to do with volcanoes.
Yeah, we wanted to see Stonehenge, but that was too far away. It would like literally take a day to get to it from where we were. Anyway, sorry, that's enough about my trip. My bad.
no, it's cool.
We were just ramble.
Yeah, we were just ramble.
Ramble.
Why is it so small?
Jesus.
What did I say? It's so it's just so small.
It's just so small.
Yeah. Did you hear that?
And then,
Oh, the episode
beginning?
today. Your promo's on the episode today, and I put in like Ramble's got their little ramble like that thing, and Wood Elf's got something. I think
Wood Elf has a British guy just going Wood Elf Productions.
Okay, yeah. So with ours, I just threw in a whip crack, and then I was just on the mic and was like, "Why is this?" No, I said it's just so small, something like that. Yeah,
something like that.
yeah. Bryton
That's
doesn't like
cool.
it, but you know what? It stands out. It's awkward.
Definitely, like
I think
insinuating something.
it may be growing
Yeah,
on
yeah,
me.
it is. Yeah,
The more I
It's a-
listen
yeah,
to
it's a
it,
joke.
the more I listen to it over and over, I
It's
was
a
like,
joke?
I don't
No
know if I
way.
dislike it or not anymore. Like I feel like in a month or two from now, it's gonna be stuck in my head where I'm like, all right.
See, I'm a marketing genius. Don't question the all-powerful me. I don't see your face on the logo on the wall. No. I was in here late and was like that. Yeah, I kind of like that. I wanted to do something that was like, why is it so small? But Crystal was asleep, so I didn't want to go like yelling. And maybe I'll change it out. We'll see. I haven't decided.
I don't know. I feel like you have to keep it now.
Do you like that one better, or do you like the weird like? It's just so small.
I think I like the yelling from a distance.
I think
more
so
than,
too.
Like that one sounds way too like. Why is it so small?
Yeah.
Like it
I
sounds a little bit too seductive for me, and I think that's why I don't like it.
Yeah. I like the yelling from a distance. It just, I don't know why, but I'm picturing Gilbert Gottfried just in the other room, like trying to put something together, like a crib or something. Mm-hmm. And he's just yelling from the other room. Why is it so small?
I wonder if
Can we get Gilbert Gottfried to do this?
well, they have those sites where you can like pay actors. I
Like
wonder how much.
Cameo?
I wonder how much it would be just to get Gilbert
Hey, yo.
Gottfried to do that.
Yeah. Can you, just $500? Can you just say this line and we own it? Thank you.
Thank you.
Time Suck did that.
Really?
Time Suck, yeah. Time Suck with Dan Cummins. Their intro is, so he always, in the early episodes, he would talk about Michael McDonald, the musician, the musical artist. And at some point he got to a meet and greet, and I think he just asked this guy, like, I think he literally just like, yo, can you say this, please? And he explained everything to him, because on the YouTube intro, you see it cut back from Michael McDonald to Dan Cummins, who is standing there. And he's like, "Ee." Like he just said that. And so I think it was just like, hey man, can you say this, please? Can we use it? Thank you. And he's like, this is Michael McDonald and you're listening to Time Suck. And that was it. So yeah, maybe we can get Gilbert Gottfried to be it. That'd be sick.
That would be funny as hell.
Yeah. We got to get him before he dies. It's kind of old. Norm's already gone. So that's one down. That would have been a good one.
Yeah.
He probably would have been willing to do it too. We got to get Gilbert. Have you ever heard his regular speaking voice?
Yes.
It's very weird.
Yes, it is.
It's so strange. He just sounds normal. I thought he screamed all the time. Do you know who we're talking about?
No.
What? You
You don't know who Gilbert Gottfried is?
I
This
might.
guy.
Oh,
You know
yeah,
who
I
he is.
do. I do. I'm not
if
good
anything,
with names.
he plays the parrot in Aladdin.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not
My
even like he's not even
favorite.
acting there. That's just his character.
Yeah. It's just him.
Yeah. That's his stage presence. He really does talk normal, like, but he never does it on a radio show or anything.
Yeah, I know. Now that I've seen him, I'm like, oh, but like hearing the name, I'm like, I'm just gonna keep smiling and
Yeah.
nodding and just, yeah.
He always looks like he had mustard juice in his eye or something.
Is that him on Cameo?
Oh, that's not bad. Oh fuck, that's bad. Yo, hold on. I bet we can get a lower price than that.
Because it's
just one
It's
line.
just one line, and it's literally just him yelling at a mic from like 10 feet away.
Just yell from. I mean, honestly, just record the shit on a fucking phone. I don't care. That would be cool. It's like $1,000.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but that's
But
that's
it says
doable.
book for a marketing campaign or big event, $950.
Right.
Where
This isn't a big event.
like we just like I think we could probably get around $200 for him just to
I think
scream
so.
at a mic.
I
Yeah,
think so. Reach out.
it's just so small.
Yeah, or why is it so small, or it's just so small. Anything like that. Yeah, reach out. Let's do that. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
Would be
That would
cool.
be fucking lit. Yeah. I'm still young, right? No, I do use. Look. I said that as a joke. I do actually. I didn't want you to think I was trying to be like a young kid or something. I do say lit, ironically, a lot.
I don't.
I say it ironically. I'm never just like lit. Like I'm like lit. You know, like it's a joke.
My recent one is slaps, so I'm kind of on the back end of that.
Yeah,
but I like saying something slaps. I don't know. I like waiting until something's almost died out for me to start saying it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm at a point in my life where if I tried to do it at the top of the trend, people would be like, the fuck is wrong with you? But I feel like if I say it after the fact, I could be like, that slaps. And people are like, oh, yeah, it's kind of still relevant.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever, you know what actually sucks? I think I started using lit, ironically. And as I was telling you, I realized, no, that's actually part of my regular vocabulary.
Yeah.
And I think it's just like, you know, I'm still saying it like in a jokey way. I'm just like, lit. You know, like, sweet.
I think Quentin's
the one who got
Quentin, who I was about to say, because Quentin was the one I started saying it unironically to.
Quentin's the only reason I know what clap those cheeks means.
Oh my
Getting your cheeks clapped.
Yeah. I think I unironically started saying it with Quentin, and it just got stuck in my vocabulary for such a long time.
Yeah. Your angle's better now.
Is it?
Yeah, I leaned up.
Oh.
But yeah. Oh, is there any pop culture shit that you can't stand? This could, you know what? We should have approached this conversation different. I'm almost 30.
Yeah.
You're not even 20.
No.
Should have come at this like differently. You know what I'm saying?
I'll be 20 in December.
No, I'm just saying
that's cool.
It's completely like there's a large disconnect here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start treating it like that right now for the last 15 minutes.
Oh, so my biggest pet peeve, no, it's that.
Last 5 minutes, sorry.
Last 5.
Yeah, Bryton's got to go.
Bryton's got to go. Okay. I don't know.
Okay. All right.
Is there any, so with TikTok, you're way more versed in TikTok than
most.
I would say, yeah maybe.
Than most.
I do enjoy TikTok. I kind of like how it's become more than what it was, because it started out as Musical.ly, which I fucking hated Musical.ly. Something about people just like lip syncing.
I remember that.
Jacob Citrus, whatever his name, Sartorius, not Citrus.
I
don't know who
these
that
are
is.
names.
See?
This is like a little child star who blew up from, I don't know, showing his abs on Musical.ly.
Wow.
But he's a child, and I was a child, but it was weird. Now TikTok is more of it's for everyone and has content where everyone can kind of find. It's kind of, and I don't like it when people say it's Vine, but it's kind of like a Vine on steroids. You know?
It's Vine with a few extra bells and whistles.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And those people do still exist. The thirst traps and all that stuff. It's fine. Do you get your bag? But
yeah,
I don't know. There's a lot more funny content on there, and I know that one of my coworkers hates TikTok. He's so anti-TikTok for some reason. He'll only watch reels of TikTok, and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, no, it's TikTok's so stupid. And I'm like, why do you gotta hate on it? You're watching it from another source, you know?
It can be dangerous though.
It's so addictive.
Yeah. That's why I don't even get on TikTok unless I'm posting something.
I have I hate that the little screen time thing is on iPhones now, because every Sunday I'm reminded of how much of my life is being wasted on TikTok.
I can always tell when I have a busy week because my phone will tell me at the end of the week, congrats, you're down 10 hours this week. I'm like, oh, sick. Cool. That means I was getting shit done. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
I still think Vine was better.
I think Vine was a little more raw, probably.
I think the reason why, because Vine because look at TikTok, literally, sound bites from Vine are popular on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
But
I feel like I rarely run across something a soundbite that was on TikTok that became more popular on TikTok.
I disagree.
I feel like I have a handful of those versus all of the oh no, our table, it's broken.
Well, you also have to think your For You page is curated for you. Yeah. And if you are a Vine, I don't know, super fan, or you like Vine, or you prefer Vine, you're going to put more attention to those videos with that soundbite from Vine or that Vine type content. So that's really all you're consuming. But there is a lot of
But But it still does push things that go viral on TikTok onto your own.
It does,
That's
but
what I'm
it is
saying.
like if you open up just like a random account, right? Like, and you go onto your For You page, it will be drastically different from your For You page
Oh, yeah.
because it is for you. Some things that are trending will come up, but it still has to fit into that like
I have
algorithm.
4 TikToks, so
It has to, yeah. Like if you hop, you'll notice how different your For You pages are between all of those. Because I have like a random one because I like to see like what the average TikTok viewer is seeing. Those 2 For You pages are completely different. And there's like, I feel like even with Vine, you say like there's more like, you know, it was more raw. They use like clips from movies or from TV shows or like from comedy specials on Vine. That same energy has just been brought over to TikTok.
I'm not disagreeing.
No,
with
no,
that.
no. I'm just
gonna say like
saying,
I fully get that. I'm just saying when things go viral on TikTok, everybody's gonna see what goes viral on TikTok. And I just feel like majority of there's a large stuff stolen from Vine that has been put on TikTok, which when TikTok inevitably crashes and burns to the ground and something else replaces it, maybe there's going to be all these audio bites taken from TikTok and pulled over to that new site.
Yeah.
All I was saying
could
is
be-
there's a bunch of different types and versions and sides of TikTok. Like people make videos from it where it's a bunch of different sounds and clips taken from the different sides and have 2 people like reacting to them. One person
the
will not
mentally
know.
stable and mentally
Yeah,
unstable.
like that. There's 2 completely, like more than 2 completely different sides of TikTok where there's so much content. And a lot of it is from Vine and a lot of it is from stand-up specials and stuff like that. It's the same type of energy. And a lot of it is like original, like the Bones Day stuff and like that.
Jesus Christ.
I love that. Like there's a lot of original stuff on there and I don't know. I like TikTok, obviously, I guess.
Do you like SoundCloud rappers? Didn't you meet a SoundCloud rapper recently?
I did.
What was his name?
What was it?
Young Gravy, right?
Lil
Yeah, I
Gravy,
think
right?
so.
Yeah,
Lil
Lil
Gravy?
Young
Lil
Gravy?
Gravy?
Little Gravy Vert?
Little Gravy Boat?
Little Gravy
Little
Boat.
Gravy Boat, that's it.
Gravy Boat.
Now, you
I was
met
trying
Young-
to think of something witty and make up.
Bryton's got you. He's been cooking that one up the whole episode. That's why he's been pausing.
Yeah.
He's like, Little Gravy Boat. I got it. No, he was kind of, right? He was kind of,
He was all right.
yeah.
It wasn't the biggest. I'm a fan of Young Gravy. I feel like the encounter could have been a little better.
Well, if you want to hear more about that,
Yeah,
about
no,
that with
definitely.
Obi
About
Smith
that.
drops November 5th, Friday. It should
November
be in
5th.
2 days from now because I
Yeah.
have my timeline worked out in my head
Yep.
now.
I'll tell you guys exactly why I no longer fuck with Young Gravy.
Yeah. All right. So, well, Obi, thanks for coming on and joining us and letting us introduce you to the peeps, to the people, to the audience, to the people who listen to this all over the place or whatever. Bryton, thanks for doing what you do. I just felt like I didn't need to leave you out. Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. Truly do. Make sure you follow Small Stuff Podcast on Instagram. Make sure you follow About That with Obi Smith on Instagram. It's going to be About That with OB, and that's About That, WITHOB. About That with OB. Follow Small Stuff Media on Instagram. Also, you'll see stuff from About That, stuff from Small Stuff, and stuff from maybe some others. Oh, stuff from Tales from the Shadows, too. Go follow Tales from the Shadows. That's me and Bryton's podcast where we tell spooky stories. So go follow Small Stuff Media and all those other accounts to keep up with everything that we're doing. I'm going to force myself to get done what needs to be done with the Shopify store so that by Friday you'll be able to go to smallstuffmerch.com and buy, we're just going to go ahead and say it. We got some car decals or wherever you want to put it. It's just a big sticker. Car decals and keychains. And we figure these are probably going to go to the people who've been listening for the longest. But, you know, obviously you can buy one if you would like one. They're very limited. I think we've got like 20 and 20 or maybe 30 and 30 of both, but
Just
very
a little
limited.
1 year anniversary type of thing.
Yep. So be on the lookout for that. We good? All good?
Yeah.
Totally.